What's up, my dudes? WW Ranch 2017. So this was made by a guy named Sand Happer, pretty sure is how you say that. And check out this Willie, dude. I'm pretty for sure if you tried hard enough, you could Willie all the way around this first sweeping corner right here. If you really tried hard, I think that is one section that you could actually do that. You guys know I'm always talking about trying to do a Willie all the way around in a circle around a corner. And yeah, that corner is like perfect for that. But yeah, dude, straight up, right off the bat, really enjoyed this track. This is a 3D scanned. I don't really know to what extent it's actually 3D scanned. I don't know if it's just like decaled scanned or if it's I'm thinking that's what it is. I'm not 100% sure, but scanned in some kind of way, right? And it's got this really cool decal work where it's got that modern sort of modern look to it in MX Simulator, where it's not just one decal copied over and over and over. It's like an overlay decal. It's got a lot of really good just look as far as the on track and the off track as far as visual wise, and even the way it feels. I just really enjoyed this track overall. Had a bit of a different feel to it. I think this would be a really good track to have the erode on in this game. Just kind of has that feeling to it, right? And I think he does actually had the erode settings from one of the 2018 AMA motocross tracks, so it should erode a lot better than some of your older tracks out there and stuff like that. But yeah, he's got this really fun, gotta be at least 100-foot jump right here. Oh god, dude, that is so much fun hitting jumps like that on MX Simulator. And for whatever reason with this track, it seems like it actually captured the real feeling of a big jump. You know, sometimes you can get a jump in MX Simulator that is humongous, but it doesn't feel real at all, right? Like, a lot of you guys know what I'm talking about there, where it's like, and I've probably made quite a few of those, where it's like big jumps, but they just don't feel real. My finger actually slipped off of the thumbstick right there. Crashed. Excuses, Spence. Come on, bro. Don't worry, boys, we are in luck. I have more gameplay. Okay, so yeah, like I'm saying, there's just something about when somebody can get a track where it's got that just enough of that roughness, nothing feels too super flat, the jump faces kind of have a little bit of almost like not super kickered out, but a little bit of change terrain going up the jump face that gives it a bit of a real feel. Feels like you're not just shooting off of a, you know, perfectly kind of like a some sort of like ski slope ramp or something, right? Where they've got it like totally perfectly smoothed off and dug out. Like motocross dirt jumps have a little bit more variation than that to them. You know, a lot of times you have some sort of kicker, some sort of rut, some sort of something going up just about every single jump face in real life motocross, unless it's like a perfectly brand spanking baby new prepped kind of jump face or something like that. Usually they have a little bit of something going on the jump face, so it just gives it more of a real feel when you actually jump off of a jump when it's like that in this game. And yeah, that really big jump I was talking about over there, combined with all the way the kind of the distance of some of the other jumps and stuff like that are on the track, it gives you this really fun feeling of like you're actually hitting a massive jump in the game, but it doesn't feel like so big that it's like unrealistic to some degree. That right there was me hitting one of the those little kicker things. You got to be careful if you're going to willy tap up over something on here, because it will send your front end over quicker than you can say Bob's your motherfucking uncle. Okay, so you got to be careful. But yeah, there's just something about it. It's like the amount of speed you can get going up to it, the friction of the dirt going up to it. It's pretty tough to get the speed to jump that all the way. Like, you really do have to stretch it out on a 450 to be able to get it, and if you're on a smaller bike, you're not really going to be able to jump that all the way. So it's just a cool feeling that I got from that really big jump. Very realistic type of feel to it. Whoa, dog, landing in a wheelie here. Then this section right here is pretty cool. You come around, So yeah, I mean, all in all, I really, really enjoyed it. Tons of skill gap in this long sweeper corner right here, like on this, like how WW Ranch is. I did like the previous version of WW Ranch quite a bit. If you guys remember, I did that wide open video on it. It worked out perfectly for that. But it was a lot of fun. It had more of a dark dirt vibe to it, whereas this is more light dirt. I haven't really watched a whole lot of stuff on WW Ranch. I have seen a couple of helmet cam videos, and I'm trying to kind of recollect back to that. I can't exactly remember 100% what the dirt coloration was, and it can vary, right? Like you can have, sometimes the dirt looks a little darker if it's a little more wet. Sometimes if it's a little bit on the more dry side, it can totally change the coloration of the dirt. So that can happen for sure, but yeah, it's just, I like this track. I don't know any other way to explain it. The way he did his roughness, where it's like he's managed to do this really cool, where it doesn't feel like super, super rough. It's more of a roller rough style track here for sure. So it's kind of got its own sort of roughness style to it. It's not really roughness like you think would be on a 2018 AMA replica motocross track in this game or something. I mean, theoretically, that's eroded roughness, but, you know, it's not really like that. It's just, it's its own cool kind of roughness, but the ruts aren't too gnarly in the corners. They're pretty chilled off, so if you did want to go in there and do the erode riding or whatever, it would work fairly decently. It just looks like that sort of dirt decal corner design, rut design, like you would have on a road, you know, a road potential kind of track out there. Now, dude, check this out. Like, I really think you can wheelie all the way around that corner. It'd be a little bit difficult once you got to these little rollers right here, but it's super fun, man. The skill gap kind of balances itself out in some of these corners where it's like you can hold it wide ass open in most of these corners if you're a badass, but you won't be able to if you're not really good at the game. So he's able to strike that perfect little balance there. And most people, they're not even to the skill level in this game to even realize if a track has that sort of skill gap balance to it. You get what I'm saying? So that's why with MX Simulator, a lot of times you really don't even know what the hell you're talking about if you're not even to a pro level when it comes to like analyzing tracks and doing stuff like that. I mean, I'm sorry, some people are going to be pissed off that I'm saying that, but it's just the truth. Like, you just don't understand skill gaps and stuff if you're not to a certain level, because you don't even realize what that skill is when people say the maximum skill gap of something or whatever. And I'm not saying I'm, some, you know, better than anybody ever on MX Simulator or whatever. I'm not trying to say that. I mean, good God, man, you know, I haven't even won a pro race yet. So it's just, right, like, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you kind of have to be to a certain point. I mean, I feel like you kind of at least need to be to that pro skill level to really understand skill gaps in MX Simulator on certain tracks, and like what's a hard track and what's not a hard track. You wouldn't understand that as a beginner or an amateur in MX Simulator. You just really wouldn't fully grasp that kind of element to it. So, yeah, man, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. It's got a nice little kind of water pond. The off track is not like, oh my gosh, I'm just straight up drooling over it or anything, but it's pretty good. I mean, I like his little island section right here with the water, kind of crazy bush design on that, but it looks kind of cool. Some of the off track over there in the distance can be a little bit basic, but all in all, I mean, you can see the multiple, when they do that sort of overlay decal where there is no decal on this track that looks like something that is just copied over and over and over and over and over. You know, the entire track almost looks like a different decal. So when they get it like that, I just can't explain how much more realism that adds to the feeling of the track when it's like that. So this kind of feels like, you know, you brought together, you know, Race Carlin, all those dudes, Checkers, everybody together, and kind of made a WW Ranch. That's what this feels like right here. So, I mean, if you got all those dudes working on a track that have been working on tracks forever, like, you're going to get somewhat of a decent product going on here. But it's made by the the dude that I said there at the beginning, but he did say in his little description of the track that he took a lot of elements from these other guys. They helped him out with a lot of different stuff. Pretty sure Hunter Root did this 3D scan, whatever kind of 3D scan it is here. So, you know, there's a lot more people involved in this particular track design here. It's not just like one guy just randomly made this by himself without any help. Like, there's a lot of people working on this thing here. So that just goes to explain the sheer quality and the skill gap and all that kind of stuff. Like I was saying before, you know, you're really getting like a full experience of a track here. So yeah, man, really enjoyed this big jump. You can throw some nasties over it, most definitely. But you can see these ruts in the corner, like they're pretty chill. It's what I would call like more of an amateur rut, but like I'm saying, if you have your erode on, it can definitely turn this into more of a pro style rut roughness track without making it too much, because like I said, his roughness that he's made in the corners, it's not like that AMA super hardcore flip you over your bike roughness, but it's enough there to where I feel like if you had a road on, it would just add on to that roughness. It wouldn't overdo the roughness on the track, if you understand what I'm saying. So I really like how he did that. He's kind of like made a track where it's rideable without a road. It doesn't feel super flat, doesn't feel so basic, but at the same time, it would be a decent track with a road on it, I feel like. So, yeah, man, either way, got that finish line jump right here. As far as comparing it directly to WW Ranch and all that kind of stuff, I mean, hell, I don't know. I haven't rode on that real life track, so it's hard to say. But just in general, overall design, quality of the track, all that. Oh my god, dude, burping while I'm saying shit. This is definitely A+ material here, without a doubt, for sure. I would say difficulty, you're probably looking at, I mean, some of these jumps are quite big. If you're going wide open on a pro level, speed level on this thing, it's probably like medium, but it's easy enough for anybody to ride on. Pretty chill. As far as like, none of these jumps I feel like you really got to try hard to hit. They got just enough. See, just about every single jump on this track has a little bit of like a roller kicker kind of thing going up to it. So even though the jumps aren't huge, they're still skill gapped. You know, they still have a bit of that filling there. So it's pretty cool that he, you know, actually managed to capture that on it. But yeah, it does have this bit of a bizarre, like when you look up at the light, it almost creates this like rainbow kind of splicing lighting effect to it. You can almost see it right there. I think you notice it more in first person. Yeah, right here. I don't know if you can actually notice that on YouTube, but it's like right when you get the sunlight portion directly going into you in first person, it like creates these three sort of light glowing orbs on the screen. It looks pretty cool, kind of gives you somewhat of a, you know, realistic, sometimes sun will do that when you're looking at it. Gives you a bit of a cool feeling, but I could see where some people would look at that kind of like he might have overdid that just a little bit, but I don't know. I kind of liked it, personally. I thought it was kind of cool. Just gave the whole entire track a bit of a different feel when it had something like that on it, but then when you kind of get off of the sunlight directly, it kind of splits off into that. So, yeah, dude, either way, definitely shout out to you. I like his little, like I said, the water pond areas. Definitely have a little bit of variation to those. They look pretty realistic. So, yeah, dude, I mean, when you get way out here, like, yeah, it does get a little bit more flat, a little bit more basic, but still, I mean, I think this is decent out here. Like, yeah, it is basic, but at the same time, it just seems to have captured a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It's like the track just captured a feeling. It's got just enough different kind of decal looks. The trees are kind of in some different areas on the on-track. He could have done maybe a little bit more with that. I don't know, maybe a little bit more grass, actual grass billboard of some sort, unless this entire track is just dirt off the track. It could be. I don't know. If that's the case, then hell, he got it, you know, straight up pinpoint right on the knuckle on that one. But that is bizarre how some of the fence objects in MX Simulator don't really show up. Like if you like right here, you know, that fence object won't even show up until I get right on it. So there is some fence objects like that in MX Simulator where you got to almost be right up on them before they really show up. And trust me, I have my graphical options quite high in this game, so it's not that. It's just that's how some objects are in the game. So, yeah, I could be like sitting over here, and that looks like there's not even a fence there. But when I get over there, there is a fence there. So it's like, shit. But yeah, either way, dude. I don't know. I'm a little bit torn on the rating on this one. Because it's like this triple right here is a shitload of fun. This little triple. Then you come around this corner trying to keep all that speed and get it turned just enough to hit this little wall right here and jump into these rollers. Very, very cool section right there. In certain sections, you can... like if you'll kind of rail up the outside and you get right in that little bit of that berm in the corner, you realize how much faster you can go on the track. There is definitely better lines on the track for sure. Like being able to actually over jump this first tabletop. I love how he put where you could actually do that on it. You can over jump this way further. It just feels like you're riding on a real track, dude. Very, very cool how it captured that element to it, because a lot of tracks just can't seem to get it. They can't seem to give you that feeling like you're on a real track. And when it's a replica track and you're trying to make a real track, that's like the whole point to it. So, fuck it. I'm going to give this thing a 10 overall. I know I don't give many 10s, and I haven't gave a 10 in a long time, but this was just a lot of fun to me, man. I don't know. I like the design of the track. Sometimes I get so picky on my ratings that it's like I just about never rate anything a 10 overall, because I get so, it's got to be like so perfect, and I get it, but at the same time I feel like there's more tracks that deserve a 10 than I give. Like, it's just, I need to be a little bit more lenient with my rating systems in both directions. I need to be able to rate stuff lower than I do and higher than I do in certain occasions. So, but yeah, I mean, if I have like a 0.5 system, this might be like a 9.5 or something, right? But I'm just going to give it a 10, and I'm going to say the difficulty is, yeah, like I said, probably in that medium easy range, somewhere around there. So either way, dude, sick track for sure. This is one of those where it doesn't have to be too flashy, doesn't have to be too like crazy off track or anything, but when you get it this solid and you get it feeling like a real track enough like this, it's capable of getting a 10 overall. It's just, you know, the on track on this is like, god damn, can't even explain it. It's just, it's good, it's fun, skill gap, long sections. This is a wide open style track. Got to be going really hardcore here. You're gonna wish you had like 69 gears on your bike in some occasions, because it's pretty fast sections. I feel like this is a track where most people might actually make their gearing a little bit, you know, where your gears are a little bit longer on a track like this than you're used to on most tracks out there, especially if you're not riding with the road and it's not got that super hardcore roughness. You can go wicked fast on this track. So yeah, man, either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Don't forget, you can go add me on Steam, Snapchat, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live. All that is just Spencer Turley, no space, no capital. I have all of my track review playlist on my front page. You can go check that out if you want to. So either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.